Hello YouTube, Jojo here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some things that I believe should be added to PlanetSide 2. Now, as you may know, SOE has been bought over by Daybreak Games, and sadly a very large portion of the PlanetSide 2 development team has been laid off just to save money. I don't agree with this decision, however one of the producers has released, I was on the forums, where he said they were going to be reworking the entire PlanetSide 2 roadmap. So I thought this is a good time to say some things I think should be added to the game. So the first of these things isn't really an addition, just a change. I think that the heavy assault shield should be nerfed. Now I know a lot of heavy assault players may disagree with this, but having played heavy assault and played other classes, it's just ridiculous that a class can get the drop on you and yet you can still win the fight because you can press a button and instantly have 50% more health than they do and be able to turn around and finish them off. I believe that the heavy assault shield should maybe have a slight delay on it, not very much, maybe half a second, but that would be plenty of time for someone getting the drop on a heavy assault to have gunned them down and killed them before the shield just completely steamrolled over everything else. Okay, so the next thing that I would like to see added to the game is animations for getting in and out of vehicles. Now, this may sound a little bit stupid, but I really think it would be awesome. I think especially if we had cool animations, sort of like the animations from Borderlands 2, maybe not as over the top, but animations that are quite cool and also just add some immersion to the game. I feel that they would really help to just put that game up a little bit more on the cool factor. Another thing that I have seen other people call for as well as myself is new grenades. Now, I'm not talking normal grenades, I mean faction specific grenades, and with brave designs. I'm sick of the devs making guns that are safe. I want them to really go out there. Maybe Vanu get a grenade that makes a little black hole. I don't know, where it would suck people in slowly and deal damage and be more sort of an area of denial grenade. Just something like that, something that really puts it out there, that's different and fun to use. On the subject of grenades, I also believe that infiltrators should be given smoke grenades, just because whenever I play light assault I love smoke grenades, they are so much fun to use. I just think it makes very little sense to not give the most stealthy class in the game smoke grenades. It just makes sense to me that they should be given them. Another thing that I would like to see is new base design, and I mean crazy new base design, something that's really clever and innovative and just makes the game feel really new. I was thinking of a couple. The first, maybe a sort of hangar base in the cliffs of maybe Indar or Amarish, where you can spawn ESF and they fly out of the hangar, but your enemies can use a terminal to close that hangar and stop you getting air support to the fight. It would just be cool. Maybe with lots of different entrances and lots of levels and just a really open hangar base, which would be awesome. The other one is something that lots of people want, which would be a flying base. And we could maybe float around the map, and if you controlled it, it would let you use a terminal that would spawn you in a drop pod and shoot beneath it, and maybe it could only fly along faction borders, so it would always be above somewhere where a fight could happen. So it would be a really useful thing to have for control from a strategy point, and it would be an awesome flying base if you didn't care about strategy. I just think that would be really fun to have in the game. Now, this one was on the old roadmap, and I really hope it makes it onto the new roadmap because it's vital to the game. Moving targets in VR. I'm not sure how hard this would be to code for the devs, however, it would just be much better. You can't really test how accurate a weapon is or practice your aim against targets that are standing dead still. It doesn't work like that. You can't figure out how the muzzle velocity affects the weapon. None of it. I think just moving targets in VR would be a great addition, especially for new players when they're in the VR. Maybe they've put a little bit of money into the game and they're thinking which gun to get. A moving target would really help them decide which one is best for them. On the subject of VR, I think it would be kind of cool if there was a place maybe in the VR, or maybe a completely different area that you can warp to, where all factions would come together and it would be like VR but in a PvP sense. it could even just be your faction's players, as long as there's some form of player versus player combat, so you could test out that loadout that you've made to see if it's actually any good. I know for a fact that I've made up some cool loadouts in VR, and in VR they've worked really well, and then I've spent a whole bunch of certs on making them and I've tried to use them, and they're completely crap, and were a waste of my certs. So I think just a PvP area where you could just create any loadout you liked and play with it would be really great. Last but certainly not least is melee weapons for maxes. Now, some people may think this is ridiculous, but I think it just sounds awesome. Imagine instead of guns, your Vanu max could run around with like dual wielding energy swords and swing them and kill people. Or maybe your TR max could carry around a massive chainsaw on each arm and just saw through people. I think something like that would be fantastic for the game. It would really help add just another level, as well as make maxes scary as shit again. I also think that maybe when equipping melee weapons it would make your max a bit faster. Not crazily faster, but fast enough to be able to keep up and maybe run down enemy infantry that aren't fast enough. So that it would just be a fun way. Imagine walking into a room full of enemies and just slashing them all to pieces with energy swords or mushing them up with a massive hammer. I think something like that would be another fantastic addition to the game. It would just make it a little bit different and add another level to the gameplay. I mean, infantry get cool now, so why not maxes? Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked any of the ideas in this, or just liked the way I presented it, I'm not sure why you would, please feel free to give the video a like. If you have any thoughts on my suggestions, or even better, if you have your own suggestions for the game, please leave them in a comment. I love to know what you guys think. And finally, if you would like to help support the channel, as well as see new content as I get it out, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye from Jojo.